There's one thing I have to admit right now. I'm not really a platformer fan, and I don't have a great deal of experience with games in the genre. But what I can tell you is that Berserk Boy is a lot of fun. A whole lot of fun. It mashes up aspects of all the best classics and makes its own unique imprint with an original story and gameplay mechanics. Oh, and did I mention the absolutely fantastic soundtrack? Strap in, because you're going to want to hear about Berserk Boy and how it makes Sonic look like a soy boy. The game's Steam store describes Berserk Boy as a high-speed, action-packed platformer with Metroidvania elements. But that's doing this platformer a disservice, because that's just the tip of the iceberg, the cliff notes. Berserk Boy is set far in the future, where a mad scientist and his evil dark army are trying to enslave the people of Earth. It's up to the Resistance to stop him and his legions, and Kay, the eponymous Berserk Boy and the character you play as, is the main effort in doing so. That's because Kay has a run-in with a mysterious orb that gives him new powers that he can wield against the bad guys. This is where we get into Berserk Boy's game mechanics. As Kay, you gain the ability to switch between different elements, lightning, fire, ice and air. This then changes your attacks, abilities and movements. Of course, different enemies have weaknesses to different kinds of element, and certain environmental interaction requires you to have a specific element and its moveset unlocked to progress. This is where Berserk Boy takes inspiration from Metroidvania, but it doesn't place a huge emphasis on it either, so it's more of a Metroidvania light. Now that we've discussed how you play Berserk Boy, I need to tell you about how good it looks, because Berserk Boy is one of the most beautiful pixel art platformers I've ever seen. I'm sure there are people already typing in the comments about some obscure platformer from the 1990s where you play as a toad, but let me explain. This game's art is great. Sure, it's true, but it's also about the attack effects, the enemy design, backgrounds, levels, cutscenes and more. It all comes together in a vibrant package that just oozes style. I'm not going to bore you with all the gauges and meters you'll find in the UI around the edge of your screen, because you get the idea already. Fill them up and launch special attacks and so on. It's standard stuff. But what I am going to bore you with is how much Berserk Boy improves on Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic is a classic, and most of you will have played this classic Genesis game by now in some form or another. But it wasn't until I booted up Berserk Boy that I really felt like I was back in Sonic. There are rails around the level that give Kay a speed boost, there are spike traps for you to fall in, and there's an awful lot of jumping on big bee things' heads to kill them, and then using special attacks and supers to finish tougher enemies. Sound familiar? But there's also something else, the music. Berserk Boy is actually made with music by Sonic composer Tee Lopes, and it's amazing. It truly had me jamming out at my desk and wanting to kickbox Dr. Robotnik into the sun. Berserk Boy also has a time trial and rating system, which is great news for speedrunners or people who just want to try and beat their previous score. Once you've completed a level, you'll be taken back to a hub area where you can purchase upgrades for Kay and his outfit, and select the next mission. That's right, Berserk Boy is split into missions and areas, just like, you guessed it, Sonic. Okay, fine, there's some Mega Man in there too, you got me. But look, with all this talk about how Berserk Boy is like other games, it might be easy to think that it's just a rip-off of them. A fake, a fugazi, that it fell off the back of a truck. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, I would even go so far as to say Berserk Boy is the only platformer in years that I've truly enjoyed. So what if it takes elements from other games and builds on them? Speeding through the city, saving its inhabitants and bashing bad guys harder than Jean Claude Van Damme to a soundtrack that slaps is pure platforming heaven. And Berserk Boy brings a lot of its own great ideas and spin on the action platforming genre. The cutscenes are wonderfully made, the characters you encounter are interesting, being able to swap between different elemental attacks on the fly is just downright cool. Bosses have original movesets that you need to dodge, duck, dip, dive and dodge too, and these end of level fights actually require a lot of skill to beat. The cherry on top of Berserk Boy lies in the options menu. You can change between a modern and traditional save style that allows you to decide for yourself if you want to start right from the beginning again once all of your lives are gone like the classics, or whether you just want to start from a checkpoint again to save yourself the hassle, a la modern games. You can also select a cool CRT filter mode that may not be for everyone, but it's a nice touch. And all in all, the developers have gone to great lengths to offer fans an experience they can tailor to their own playstyle, and we love to see it. Overall, Berserk Boy is a fantastic experience that we heartily recommend for newcomers and veterans of the action platformer genre. It takes all the greatest elements of platforming games that went before it, builds on them, and makes an even better experience for it. This is one you'll want to open your wallets for, and even if it is just to see how Berserk Boy uses Sonic's own music and style to cuck the blue hedgehog. Sorry, Tails. Voxel Smash gives Berserk Boy 9 out of 10. Berserk Boy is an excellent platformer with gorgeous graphics and an amazing soundtrack from Sonic composer Tee Lopes. Add in the plethora of options for players to tailor the experience to play how they want, and Berserk Boy is an almost flawless experience that everyone should try.